Oh, we're on. Shit, I didn't realize it was going. It says live. All right. Uh, says I'm not supposed to go for another 3 minutes. Well, here we go. We're on an early start. Just got a visit from the landlord a few minutes ago, and he's got a pop up from Google Chrome saying I'm live. That's pretty cool. Things are updating. From e-bikes to garbage, recycling, land management. I'd like to ask the audience out there what you consider to be garbage. Let's differentiate garbage, trash. Like in looking up some information on just in in the last couple of years, actually, I am so confused what garbage is. I've been in a habitat that I actually built outside and spent almost 7 months. Actually, I did think, yeah, it was 7 months, um, give or take a few days, outside in a habitat that was built with straw, sticks, and 90% of it was garbage that I got as packaging from the food that I bought. And there was a lot of wood from the construction here, and I integrated that, and it worked. I was very comfortable, very cozy for that whole time. And if I was allowed to keep on going and do it my way without any interference, I think I could be living outside permanently right now in a house built out of garbage. It's basically just a little freaking dome that I put straw over. On the outside, it just looks like a mound of straw. Now, it takes a while for to get a garden grown, right? It takes a while for things to compost. And I've got now the time of the experience of time on my side that says, look, I've experimented with this, and I've got compost. I got a little garden growing now that is doing better than ever. Actually, in the worst spot you could pick. Loads of shade, under some trees. And as some of you know, I'm working on this project Canopy where we start from the ground level, make a place for the bugs, a habitat. I want the soil and ground aerated. I was out west in BC there, and I noticed some areas were so spongy and there's sticks and you could fall through. And I got inspired by that because I seen how thick and lush everything was, the mushrooms that were growing. And I realized that's layers and layers. And when I went to the construction sites out there, they dug out areas sometimes 4 foot thick. It was just loose compost debris. It was just sticks and little bits of dirt flowing through and all kinds of plants with billions of fucking insects and worms and everything else. Well, I tried to replicate that here with what I had. And even using tin cans, plastic, garbage, fabric, everything else, I've noticed that a lot of it over the 10 years I've been here where I started has broken down to literally nothing, including carpet. I've got several carpets that you're never going to pull out because there's nothing left of them. I've been using everything I find to create comfort. It's all garbage, as I would say, stuff people's throwing out. Now think about the environmental impact of doing that compared to throwing it on a landfill. Now, a few weeks ago, there were 6 city officials. I'm not going to go into too many details of it because I don't want to create any problem here. I'm looking for open discussion because this is something happening in my community, in our community, that will have an impact on me and my happiness. Over the years, I've gone from feeling incredibly angry and pissed off with everything and feeling like everyone's my enemy to, we're all in the same boat together. And if we can just work together as a team, which I'm seeing a lot of evidence of, I'm loving the updates in the technology and the abilities we have to communicate, which I believe is a big factor in this understanding coming to light. Now, I'll say off front, I completely disagree with the way the city made their entrance to this property. As you know, it's Camp Serenity. Some of you actually know where it is. And of course, it did disturb the landlord, and he's been on my case saying, basically it's up to me. A lot of pressure. At the same time, we won't get into those arguments. It's a different discussion. But I'm super thrilled with what I've been able to accomplish. And I feel like right now it's being pushed faster than nature can handle. Now, yes, there's a lot of garbage. And as some of you know, we've been pulling a lot of that out. Anything visible. Right from the get-go, I was down the valley here, pulling up from the Short Hills Park here. I've been pulling up any garbage from about 40 to maybe 100 feet out into the valley over the edge of the hill here. I've pulled it back up and I've used it as a compost heap temporarily. And I've also lived in it. In fact, I'm sort of living in that now. In a way, I'm kind of cheating because I'm semi indoors, semi outdoors. I got a metal frame over me with some glass windows in front. But it's open to the outside completely. In fact, everything I have here is open. You could literally walk in anytime. My best security is the way I've put it together. And now they want that all opened up, or I'm not sure what they want actually. And this leads into, what's the definition of garbage, and how much can a person interfere in someone else's life if they're happy, if it's not really affecting anyone, especially if it's actually benefiting the ground. Like when I first moved here, I was digging right beside me here, like just outside this wall here, and there was concrete block, all kinds of shit. I couldn't grow anything in it. Right now, I'm actually harvesting food from it, but powers that be have insisted I got to rake it all off, rototill it all up, flatten it, like destroy what I've started. And this is an area that I walk and inhabit, and if I had my way, I wouldn't leave. I wouldn't have to if I'm allowed to continue developing what I'm doing. And I know there's other people doing that too. I'm hoping some of you like link in with us, because where two or more are gathered, we got a little more power. Oh, and does drinking Pepsi that's actually beer and smoking a cigarette devalue what anyone says or does? Some of you know, and I'm be honest right here, I'm chronically alcoholic, as it were. I don't like the hard stuff, but I drink a lot of beer. And I feel good. When I feel good, I do more. I enjoy life more. It's part of my retirement benefit package that I always wanted and I've got. I do not want that taken away. I also have very little access to actual clean water. See, the city provides chlorinated water, which is absolute shit. Landlord can get me rainwater abundantly and freely, but it also is collected in a way that isn't quite kosher. There's a lot of bird shit, dog shit, and all kinds of other dog piss, you name it. That's in there. There'll be snakes in there. There's dead rats in there. I mean, you got to wonder about it, okay? And I'm not criticizing that, because honestly, that's better than city water. He's also provided some fresh water from up here, from the neighbor, which is excellent. It gives me a lot of options. So what I'm saying is, he's been very cooperative with helping me get as far as I can. But I feel like now we got the city starting to put pressure on him. And I don't know about the rest of you, but as soon as I get pressure on me, I fuck up. Now, the big thing is they say they want the property cleaned up. Now, I do have a lot of arguments on that, because first of all, there's a question of what is clean and by whose standard, and who decides these things, and who decides how to enforce that. I'd like to meet these characters that are so educated and so in tune with the nuances of this subject that they can convince me with just their presentation that I'm out of line here and that Tom's out of line. I didn't meet Tom is a fictional character. Fuck, I could get in trouble on that. Give me an example for. I looked up on. Oh, here we go. I think I still got it. Global, yeah. Okay. In a lot of cases around the world, they consider wood to be garbage. Houses are made of wood, so houses are made of garbage. Things like tin cans and such, they're considered refuse. To me, if they're composted right, they provide a lot of nutrient to the soil, as I've now witnessed firsthand over the years. I picked up a handful of soil tonight from an area that had literally hard clay. You couldn't even put a shovel in it when it was wet. Literally dug my hands and pulled out a rich bundle and threw it on my potato patch. I've got a very small area now, and I'm piling wood around the edge of it, which is considered garbage. What I got is sticks from the forest. I have straw all over the place. It might not look pretty, but I'm eating almost half of my calories in a week. Now, that's probably a little bit liberal right now. Well, right now with the berries, It's a toss. I'd say guaranteed, bare minimum, 25% of my diet is coming from the weeds that most people would try and kill with pesticide, or what do you call it, herbicide, and say it's no good and get rid of it. And the landlord's credit the other day, before coming in and doing the road utility he's planning on, he asked, is it okay? Because there's several of those weeds growing right there in an area that was my first experimental garbage area. Now, it hasn't progressed as well as the later projects. So as I go further down the hill, it's like I go down over the edge of this bank, and there's like rich, thick, beautiful soil coming out. In a few years, I'll be able to grow my garden down there with a habitat built into the ground. It's a long process, but the subject of this right now is garbage. Again, I'm going to ask, what do you all consider to be garbage? When I see something that I can never use, don't want, and can't think of any useful purpose for, I throw it out. I also know that virtually everything man made through all existence is 100% compostable. Anyone that wants to argue that, I welcome it. There's a lot of things that we've not been told, and I've learned firsthand, and I don't care what your fucking science says. I've watched it, I've seen it, I've done it myself right here, and I know the facts on these matters, okay? And I will say I don't want like computer batteries and things like that composting the ground because there's an explosion hazard. So those I'm getting rid of and putting them back. And the landlord made a great point to me a few weeks ago. He said, we were talking about plastic, and I was getting so confused about hard, soft, glass, all this stupid shit that makes it almost impossible for someone, I'll say in my situation, to understand. And I can relate to other people. Oh, hang on. Guys, you might have to end the broadcast. I have an update here. I'll get back to you shortly. Hello, Thomas. Do you want to go in there? Should I end it? You got an update. I was talking about what you said.
It's just waste by law. That's all paperwork I got. Nothing after building code or any other else.
Just the waste by law?
Just the waste by law.
Okay.
Cleaning up everything. So.
Well, that's what we're doing.
So.
All right, Tom. Are we in good shape?
Well, got a long ways to go. But...
Well, Tom.
Yeah.
You got a good team. It'll happen. Okay. I'm glad that happened. So that's just the update right there. They're talking about the waste bylaw. So again, that fits with what I was just speaking about the waste. What is waste? What is garbage? What is the extent of the city's authority over the individual if they're happy with their surroundings? I am no different than anyone else. I love a beautiful place. I mean, I got family that has some of the most beautiful gardens I've ever seen. I've had them. And it takes a while to establish a new environment on the edge of the forest to create that portal and gateway into, our Neverland, if you will. A place where I can retire and be happy. A place that works for me within the community where I'm not negatively affecting anyone, where I can add a positive input to the equation. And I'm hoping that some of you out there will make some comments and let us know that, hey, I hear you. We're there too, You've got someone that's dumping noise onto you all the time. To me, that's worse than garbage. It's a form of aggravated assault, People coming onto your property without a proper warrant. People that are putting oppression and pressure on you. Sometimes it's nice to have a reminder of things and say, okay, we can offer some assistance if you'd like to do this, that, and the other. I mean, isn't that what the whole city arrangement is for? St. Catharines, a compassionate city. Okay. We want to build on that foundation. Later, I'll talk about bike trails and things like that because this fits in, but that'll be another broadcast, another video. So I think I'm going to end this because I can't think straight right now. I'm so curious about what the city actually had to say. There were 6 members from different departments came by, and they used a little trick, a loophole in the law in order to do it without a warrant. But there's other issues that are behind that because of personal privacy and stuff I'm not going to get into. But they also affect on this. And I know there's people out there that, just from what I said, you can read between the lines and figure out what the hell, right? So I think we'll end it there. Give it a second to think of anything else that might have come to mind. Okay, yeah, there is. Okay, so you begin a process like they've asked for to get it cleaned up. Now, the landlord asked me way before the city did. They were getting concerned about how much was building up, and I mean, I changed the environment here quite a bit. Uh, there are worms and bugs that I've never seen before. I got all kinds of wildlife that wasn't here when I arrived. I'm looking at plants growing more vibrantly than ever. Today, I literally have eaten almost 100% from the plants growing here in the garbage on this property. Now, I do agree that to clean up and make it look nice and presentable on the road, a front entrance that looks good, and that's what I'm working on with my little personal space here. We can only do so much so quick. And I think to come in with the big stick, which it felt like, I mean, the city literally got here, woke me up. I was sleeping. I generally sleep a lot into the early afternoon a lot of times because I like to work at night when I'm outside. It's nice and cool. There's these periods where I'll do different things depending on the bugs, because certain times of night you don't want to be outside working because you're going to get eaten alive. Maybe that's when you do your fire or do your cooking or have a nap. And then when it's raining, there's certain opportunities arise based on the weather, which is probably hard to understand for anyone that has never lived outside for any extended time. And usually we go camping and live outside. I went out with a tarp and started building the abode to suit me, and I was doing my cook, like everything out there, everything. Unless I can maintain my habitat and continue what I'm working on here, the results of me getting in a better state of mind over the years will be negated. That's a certainty. I love what I've got going here. And I hated that someone came in without an invitation and walked right through my personal spaces. Imagine you waking up in the morning and you got the city standing in your bedroom. How would you feel? Well, I'd like you to think on that, because in a nutshell, that's exactly what happened here at the camp. With 6 people wearing badges and official tags saying they have authority. I personally find that criminal. With that, I hope everyone has a great day, great evening. Tomorrow, I'm going to look for an e-bike in the morning, and we'll get back to you on that. There's a ton of things happen here at camp over the last couple of weeks, but honestly, I have been so busy. I've been really drained a bit because I've been burning the candle at both ends for a while. Look, you can see I haven't done my shaving or anything. A lot of physical things to overcome, and it's a lot of work, especially when you got deadlines and people on your back. Imagine free flow, eh? All right. Peace out, everyone. Catch you next time.